everyone, and welcome to the newest episode of Falling Upwards. We hope you're having a lovely day or night or evening or afternoon, whatever time it is when you're listening to us.
Dusk.
And as you can hear, my lovely co-host Maddie Armstrong is with me right now. How are you doing, Maddie?
I'm still here. Fortunately for you, I'm still here. And I'm in your walls. I'm always there.
That's so terrifying.
What's it? Yay.
Oh my God. Maddie's in your walls. If any of you would like to get up and check right now, we do not recommend you take a sledgehammer to your walls to check if she's there. But she is in front of me. She's genuinely touching her wall right now. Maybe she's just
giving me a little knock.
Are you channeling your energy to all the other walls in the world?
Yeah.
There's a bit of Maddie energy everywhere.
Yeah, I'm there because I'm connected. We never start normally, do we?
No. But why would we? Why make life predictable?
Why would we?
Yeah. Well, we wanted to bring all of you a lovely special episode with just the two of us because, so much about Falling Upwards as a show is about failure, what failures people have dealt with, how they deal with them. And when do we ever feel more pressure with failure than with exams, than with tests? We know it's mock and exam season coming up, and we just wanted to send you a little bit of love, a little bit of compassion, and maybe a few funny stories along the way so that you give yourself some self-love. So, Maddie, shall we kick off with mad news?
Yes. That's the closest I've been.
Can I contribute some mad news if you will permit me to?
You may.
So, I am aware that Maddie does not watch the football. And by the time you'll be listening to this, it will have been a few weeks since Super Bowl weekend. But something that both Maddie and I do love is the underdog. And the Chiefs that won the Super Bowl 2 years in a row did not win. Woo! And in the other football, the soccer, Liverpool, who are currently the best team in the world, played Plymouth, that are they're a very small side, they're a few divisions down. And Plymouth, like David, defeated Goliath.
Oh, wow.
So if any of you right there right now are being like, oh, I'm not the smartest person in class, I can't do it with exams. Yes, you can. You can beat the odds.
You are Plymouth.
You are Plymouth. The Chiefs had Patrick Mahomes and they still didn't win, and Plymouth still beat Liverpool. So anything can happen. Believe in yourself.
Oh my gosh, I was such a Plymouth in school. I was so for every subject, I was in set 1, right? However, I was like the Plymouth of set 1. Like everyone around me was like Liverpool. I don't know what a good team is, so I'm not gonna even try and pretend in front of Aimée. But I was just the Plymouth. So I really relate to that.
I love
because eventually it did work out. It did, because I persevered. Persevering Plymouth.
Can we make that a thing? Don't be proud to be a Plymouth. Be a Plymouth.
Yeah. Where is Plymouth?
I want to say, oh dear, South Coast.
Okay.
I feel like in my head, and I'm terrible at geography, I feel like Plymouth, Portsmouth, Weymouth, and Bournemouth are my brain wants to imagine they're all along the same coast, but at different points. I just could not tell you what order they're in.
Well, that's 3 times more than I know, because I don't know where any of this are.
I think every so often, me and my family drive to Portsmouth because it's not too far. So the other Mouths can't be that much further, because I think Weymouth is a drivable distance for me, and I'm in the southeast. But again, I can't tell you where the other Mouths are. But then Brighton's a seaside town, and it doesn't end with a Mouth. It's not Brightmouth.
That'd be a rubbish name. The nearest seaside town to me, I think, is Scarborough.
I've never been. Is it nice?
Yeah, it's fine. Some people like it. My memories of it are just windy and cold, because that's what the seaside is like in the UK.
Oh, wait, can I recommend then Welsh beaches? Lovely, south of Wales.
You don't need to recommend. Already been 10 out of 10.
They're fantastic, aren't they? Amazing.
I for some reason Wales has always acted like a hot sunny country every time I've been there. I mean, yeah, we've been like in like May, but still May doesn't come with sunshine in the UK, you know?
Yeah.
That's still like
Yeah.
an ask. But in Wales, yeah, no. I burnt my bum in Wales. Oh my word, it was so painful. I think it was the worst sunburn I'd ever had. But it was another case of the being unable to sit down. But I think my back and my shoulders was the worst. It was the worst. It was like blistery and everything, and I had to put after sun on. Oh, please don't be a 16-year-old not putting on sun lotion. Just look after your skin.
You say that, but the worst sunburn I've also ever gotten has also been in Wales. And I think it's because
Why?
because I think the atmosphere, the air is so clear. Do you know what I'm like? This is what shocked me, because I've spent, since I was a child, I've been to Southeast Asia a lot. The sun is out a lot. For anyone who's spent a lot of time in Southeast Asia, if we have any Southeast Asian listeners, you'll know a lot of people don't even wear sunscreen because they're like, why do I need to? My skin just knows how to deal with this. Also, please wear sunscreen. Don't do that. But like, you know, I don't know a single relative that regularly puts on sunscreen. Again, I don't recommend that. That's not a recommendation for me. So I'd spent my childhood being like, I'm absolutely fine in the heat. I'm absolutely fine in the sun. I do put on sunscreen now, but you know, I'd spent many years of my life, many holidays not putting on sunscreen. And then I went to Wales, to these lovely beaches and this beautiful weather. And then after my first day at the beach, I was like, what is this? I'd got burns on my arm and I had put sunscreen on, but I was just like, what is happening here? Like, I frolicked around like Thailand, around Singapore, never anything, nothing. But I think it's just because like the atmosphere is so clean, and it's like, I don't know, Wales just feels like such a natural, pure place that it feels like there's no traffic dust nonsense to like protect you. You're not protected by smog in Wales. But also go to Wales.
There's this town in Wales, and it's on this peninsula that I've frequently gone to on holiday, and it's called Aberdaron. And it's just so peaceful. You know how much I love mountains.
Yeah.
But until you're like down on the beach below the cliffs, it's just this like plateau, you know? It's just for miles. It's just fields, and then you can see mountains in the distance and the sea on the other side. But it's just stunning. And there's like hardly any trees, but it's beautiful and it's peaceful, you know? And there's no like big town for quite a while. Aberdaron is very small. There's like 1 or 2 cafes. There's one spa, a spa with an R, the little shop, and like 1 or 2 hotels. Like, it's really small and it's so beautiful. And I just always live through my mermaid dreams when I visit, because it's such a gorgeous landscape with the cliffside and the rocks.
Oh, that's so nice. That's like, I just looked this up because my favourite hotspot in Wales is St David's, which is the other side of that, the curvy bit of Wales.
Oh, is it?
So your favourite bit is one side and mine's the other side. But it's just nice. You know what I mean? It's not busy.
You should visit.
It's not busy. The weather's nice. For anybody, if you're going through like revision blues right now, just think of like clear skies, a nice fresh beach. It's not too busy because it's Wales. So, you know, people aren't going nuts. Everyone's very chill. Fresh ice cream, like fresh whipped ice, is nice. Just, you know,
Best ice cream.
nice happy images right now.
There was never any data, right?
Oh.
And we didn't even have Wi-Fi at the place that we'd stay at because it was a caravan.
Yeah.
So the only place I could get Wi-Fi used to be this one ice cream and sandwich spot by like right by the beach. It's like right by the steps that go down to the beach, and it was called Baguette on the Beach. I don't think it's still called that. But we used to go there to get I'd get my bubblegummy ice cream, and I'd also
Oh.
like stick around for like 20 minutes so I could like get the Wi-Fi, but get on the beach and scroll through. I love the peacefulness of it, you know? It forces you to detach and really just soak in your surroundings. And it's so beautiful, you know? Like the sounds you'd hear is all nature, you know? Like there's not really a lot of cars going on the road. There's plenty of spots nearby. Whistling Sands is like a 5-minute drive from Aberdaron. It's really
Oh.
nearby. And there's this other sort of hilly, mountainy bit that I used to call Rainbow Mountain, because of all the purple heather and yellow gorse that would grow on it. So, like in springtime, it would just be rainbow colors. It was gorgeous. And there's just so much. But yeah, there's so much nearby, and it's so beautiful, and I would just highly recommend.
Well, that's some lovely mad news for everybody. Maddie, what's your favourite? I know we've shared many failures from both of ourselves across this show's lifetime, but what's your favourite exam fail?
Oh, I mean, there's got to be like a couple. I, for one, did not study at all for my GCSEs. I didn't study, and it wasn't really a conscious decision. I just never sat down and did it. Like, I wasn't someone that didn't bother in school. I certainly bothered. You know, I mentioned I was in like the top sets and I was trying, but excuse me, I didn't want to let it take away my life. Because it was already taking away most of my time being there every single day for like 8 hours. So it just seemed extreme to then go and revise, which I should have just sort of soaked in during the lessons anyway. So I did wing all of my exams, including, and the only one I really should have revised for if I was gonna, you know, prepare for anything, which was the French speaking exam. You are meant to like write a script of what you're going to say. I did not. I just went into it.
But that's more like real life, though. That's legit, though. Do you know what I mean?
Right. And I remember saying quite basic things.
Yeah.
I really did wing it. And afterwards, my French teacher, she was like, "Did you prepare for this?" And I lied and I said, "Yeah." And she said, "Were you just nervous?" I was like, "Yeah." That being said, because I mean, I never know what my individual score for that one was because we had multiple different types of exams.
Yeah.
I overall got an A in French. And I didn't recall doing that well on the written. So I don't know. I don't know how I got an A, but I got an A. So yay for that.
Yay!
Probably the biggest failure that I've always been really smug about though was the fact that when I was 16 doing my GCSEs, I didn't go to university, so I don't have any uni sorry. But you know, when we were doing our GCSEs, it was life or death at the time, wasn't it? I was in hospital, and I've mentioned this before. I had the kidney infection as a 16-year-old, and I missed like a whole week's worth of exams. I think one of them was a chemistry exam. One of them was an English language. Now, English language has always been my best subject. And I'd been looking forward to doing this one specific exam because it was the one where you got to do some creative writing. So the one exam that I actually was looking forward to doing, I didn't get to do because I was in hospital.
Oh.
So while still being sick but being allowed to leave hospital, I did the only other English language exam. And obviously I had to write an appeal to the board to say I had to miss this exam because I was ill. Please, you know.
Yeah.
Bear that in mind. It ended up being my best GCSE. I got an A star whilst being very sick, very, very ill, to the point where in the exam hall, I had like an invigilator specifically assigned to me to just remind me to drink water because they were scared that I was going to drop.
Oh, no.
You know, I still had like the hospital wristband on my arm and everything. But I was determined to go in and do my exam.
Mm.
And yeah, even after all that, even after being so sick, I somehow managed to do that well, even though I was expecting myself to just completely fail everything. So the rest of my exams, they were pretty all right. It was like a mixture of mostly B's, that sort of thing. Um, but I think that was my favorite failure because I didn't decide to throw away all my time to breathe in revising for something that I wouldn't have done much better in any way if I hadn't already like absorbed the information and understood it. I just let myself be human and live my life alongside school. And I ended up doing, as well as I could have hoped for. I wasn't the best of the best, like some of my friends that got A stars and everything. I didn't care. I wasn't upset by that because I knew I did my best without being unhealthy about it. And I think if I'm going to give anyone advice, whether you're doing GCSEs or something equivalent or you're doing something but older, I think I would tell you to do the same thing. Because you're not going to help yourself if you are exerting all your energy, that's mental and physical, towards something. In fact, that might backfire. You can only do your best, but make sure that's your best without like cutting off a limb or something. There we go. That's some Maddie wisdom.
Oh, I suppose I meant to share a failure, but I kind of want to follow that up.
I can't imagine you having any sort of academic failure.
No. You know what I will say is, like, I think having spent a lot of time around a lot of academic people and having worked with people of all ranges of academic ability, something that I really see that I kind of worry about sometimes is so many young people putting pressure on themselves to pull off exams perfectly, because that means that the next stage of their life they can do perfectly, like whether that's they want to be able to do whatever A levels they want to do, or they want to be able to do it at a certain college, and then from A levels it becomes, oh, because I want to go to this uni, and then from uni it becomes, oh, because I want to do this master or this PhD or whatever. And the perspective that I've got from all of that is actually like, if you're pushing yourself to be what you aren't, then you're still going to be unhappy. And I feel really sorry for like both my peers, but also people younger than me, and I suppose even people older than me that have experienced it, where they've like achieved great things, but that's not been their dream. When that's been because their parents think they should achieve that, because they feel pressure from people around them, or whatever messaging is around them. And I've had like the privilege of working with so many amazing, promising young people, and you can tell when the dream that their parents have for them is not what suits them. And I think a lot of people have this perception of academia that like, if you're smart and if you can show in exams that you're smart, that's best. It means you're the best. It means you're clever. But from personal experience, that's definitely not the case. Not just because lots of smart people choose not to go down that path, so you never get their stats and their marks to begin with, but also because like at the end of the day, and I hope this is helpful for any students that are stressed about exams, like at the end of the day, this is all standardized testing. These tests exist because they have to assess your abilities in some way. They can't say, okay, we're going to create every individual test. They've created a test that they think can work best for as many people as possible. But at the end of the day, we are all individuals. And just because some person can jump through certain hoops very well, that doesn't make you stupid if you struggle to jump through those same hoops. There are hoops that I'm sure that you would be able to do really, really well, that those same people would not be able to do. And that doesn't make that person stupid either. And I get really sad when I see kids go, oh, well, if I can't go to this institution, if I can't get this mark, this means that I'm stupid. It means that I'm not good enough. No, it doesn't. It just means that metric doesn't suit you. Like if you had gone to, I see this a lot with like Oxbridge applications. if you had gone to Oxford and it didn't suit you, you would have been miserable there. You wouldn't have learnt there. You wouldn't have been happy there. You wouldn't have thrived there in terms of what your skills are. Like, I'm really bad at drawing. If you asked me to like do a bachelor's degree in drawing, I would probably cry throughout the entire thing. That doesn't make me dumb. That just means that would not have suited me well. In the same way that, like you, Maddie, if you had like made yourself do all of that studying and stress yourself out and giving yourself like even more, I don't know, mental anguish, because let's be honest, revision time is mental anguish for a lot of people, you actually might not have done that well, because what if you become more stressed in the exam? That would have caused you to make more mistakes. And ultimately, the more, I think both, a lot of the time, I think it does come from parents. Parents and teachers can be a bit more empathetic. Well, not teachers so much, but definitely parents. If parents can be a little bit more empathetic to, at the end of the day, this is standardized testing. What this shows is whether my kid is good and capable to figure out those systems to do well on that test. It's no different than if it was a test to be like, I was laughing to Maddie about this because, you know, I find driving very stressful. Me doing my driving test was not a happy time for anybody, if we're being perfectly honest.
Yeah, tell me about this, because I'm really intrigued.
But do you know what I mean? Like, in the same way, that is also a test. It doesn't mean you're necessarily stupid or not. It just means that you are able to show a certain level of skills that they want to get to that. Yes, I'm not good at driving. I'm very bad at to be fair, no. The people who've sat with me when I've driven say that I'm a good driver. I just like feel anxious the entire, like, there are so many variables when you're driving. Like what if a bird goes by? What if, I was talking to my cousin about this because he's a really good driver, and I was saying to him, my stress is not from like the actual act of like doing all the things you have to do to drive. It's all the variables that happen at like 30 plus miles per hour around you. And I, like you, Maddie, have an overactive imagination. Yeah, so that always stresses me out. I never have a good time driving.
We're all different, innit?
Everyone's always like, you drive well, but I feel like I'm being, oh no. Oh, so whenever I'm like, I don't want to drive, it's never me being a diva. It's just like, I feel safer not being the person driving.
I'm worse than you. Like, I've refused to even learn to drive because I'm scared of killing someone.
You know what? It's not just you. I think I've got another 3 friends that are also in the same boat, where they're like, I can take the train. We're lucky in the UK. We have good public transport. No, thank you. Life is too short. No, thank you.
It's too much responsibility.
People forget this, though. People forget this. Like, when you are given a license to drive, it's like a piece of paper that says that you can be responsible in a machine that is capable of killing someone.
Right?
People just think, oh, when I get my license, it means that I get my freedom. No, when you get your license, it means that people think you won't kill somebody in this machine. It's not a joke.
I just can't.
No.
I just can't. I know everyone is like, but no one else thinks that, Maddie. You know, I'm not doing it. You know, I'm certain I'm not doing it. Thank you. I'll just take the bus. It's fine.
No, I think that's quite normal, though. More people I know don't want to drive.
I don't like the fact that cars are so big.
What, even the small ones?
No, the fact that the average driver is one person, is carrying one person in the car.
Yeah.
And that can usually seat 5 people. That's a huge amount of space, and that's a huge amount of pollution just to carry one person. Whereas if you're like on a bus, it's much better, not only for space on the roads, but also for pollution.
Yeah.
Because that's one vehicle for like maybe 60 people. So I don't know. It's never seemed like a good idea to me.
No, it's legit though. In general, if I don't have to drive anywhere, I don't. If I can public transport it, I'd rather do that.
I know this is like controversial, but I think this weird sort of expectancy that every single person has their own individual car, I find that strange as well. You know, a household should be able to like share cars.
Yeah.
But I know families where they are overfilling their driveway, and someone always has to park on the road, on the pavement,
Yeah.
because they've got like 4 cars in the whole family, and it's like a family of 4 or 5. Like, surely you can share. But that's just my controversial take.
Like, I'm not a car fan. I love racing, as you know, like watching racing, but as somebody who's not a car collector, and I know you're not a car collector as well, like, I'm happy to like admire the car, but I don't need to own it. Like, for my own car, I'd rather just
Yeah.
I'm happy to share. Let's just get it from A to B. Peace out. Like, you know, I have friends that rent cars when they need cars because they'd rather just rent the car for when they need it than have to like get a car, maintain the car. Then you almost feel obligated to keep using the car if not, it just sits in your driveway doing nothing. So just go rent the car. And I don't need the, especially for people in London, you know, go rent the car because I'm traveling somewhere where it's harder with no public transport. And apart from that, you don't need to.
I wish it was both normal and easier to cycle everywhere. I say easier because I live in a town with a massive hill, and to get to work, I have to get up a massive hill. So I can't walk. I can never walk to work. But I don't think I'd be able to pedal up it either. So, you know, maybe I just wish I had more leg power.
Are we going back to the original conversation that actually kicked off this entire podcast, which is maybe we should all just have horses. But then what do we do with the poo?
I want a horse.
Do you have any revision fails apart from just not wanting to revise?
I don't really have any revision fails because I did not revise. I think the failure is just the fact that I did not do it.
That's not a fail though, because you were happy.
Actually, okay, I'll say the only thing I did revise, technically, was the one tiny section of space-related things in the physics textbook.
Is that because you needed to revise it or just because you enjoyed it the most?
No, we actually knew that space would not come up on the exams at all. I just wanted to read about space because I love space. So like the one thing I actually did revise was something that was not going to come up on the exams.
I love that though.
We should learn what we want to learn.
I love that. But this is what I mean about it's at the end of the day, it's standardized testing. It's all revision and then getting out the revision in the right ways for the exam. But ultimately, that's not real life. That's not how life works. That's not like workplace skills. That's not like all of this stuff that's like useful for real life. Like, it is up to a point. It's very limited. Do you know what I mean? It tells people a certain amount about you, but it doesn't tell people everything about you. Because, you know, I've known people that are really academically proficient at exams, can do perfectly in exams, but I would never want to work with them. They're not good people to work with. Like, ultimately, that's what comes down to real life.
It only has like a specific type of intelligence, right?
Yeah.
Like a specific type of person, I feel. That, you know, there's autistic people, there's people who are good with like handiwork, people that have really good social skills, but like this sort of stuff, this doesn't translate into like the exams that we did.
No,
maybe you'd have the odd like grade that was based on coursework with like one of the design and technology subjects, but you know, a lot of it would just be the simple paper exam. And it's still like as progressive as they tried and made themselves to be, it would barely be anything.
It's not that progressive, is it?
No, not at all. And like with me, I had a bit of an unconventional academic career because right after the GCSEs, all my friends were talking about going to uni after sixth form, but I didn't go to sixth form. I went and did photography full-time in college, and that was very hands-on, and I had a great time. We did stuff with darkroom photography, like, you know, film photography and developing in the darkroom, which was so fun. But yeah, like I went and did what I wanted to do, and the GCSEs didn't mean anything.
No,
they didn't mean anything towards that and towards what I do now, which is writing, which is photography, which is doing fun little stuff at a cafe. Like, none of that has had any sort of link with what I was made to do in the traditional academic career.
Yeah.
So I do think it's way too standardized.
Yeah. Just appreciate yourself a little bit. I mean, obviously there are paths where that really does matter, but if that's not who you are, then don't fit a square peg into a round hole. Allow yourself to be yourself. Because if not, even if you're not unhappy right now, it's going to impact how you see yourself and how, how happy you are in the long run. And that's from somebody, you have the lovely mix of listening to someone who went down an unconventional academic path like Maddie, and then somebody like me who went down a completely conventional academic path. And both of us are saying, please just be happy.
Yeah.
As long as you've got the determination to do what you want to do, like no exam is, I think both of us would agree on this, like no exam is the end of the world. No exam is the end of the world. No matter how big your goal is, like you can find a way. No exam is the end.
You can always prove yourself in some other way.
Yeah.
You just have to nurture your skills and nurture the things about you that you love doing.
Yeah.
And you don't need to prove yourself only in an exam, you know?
Yeah. Like, please eat, like, if you're revising really hard now, and I know how it is because I actually did revise, please eat, please sleep, please drink water, please don't put yourself through terrible things just to revise. If you know what, I'm happy to provide a fail, which is, I know we usually like to provide funny stories here. But this is a slightly sad fail, but I'm more than happy to share it. After like every exam, like results or any kind of anything like that I've gotten back, I've never been happy. I've usually just cried, and it's not because I've been happy, it's because I've just been relieved that it's over. You know, having spoken and worked with so many people in academia since, it's quite normal. Well, for a lot of people, you know, at this, like, you would think that these people would be super happy. They're not. We're just relieved it's over. Now everybody can stop talking about it. Now everybody can, you know, pat us on the back, treat us to a nice dinner or whatever nonsense that you want to treat us to celebrate, and you can just leave us alone.
Aimée has always been an insanely hard worker.
But if you think about it, for the amount of work you're putting in for an exam, that's quite sad, really, if we're thinking objectively. So, you know, please love, like, whenever I've been proud of people that I've known that have achieved things academically, it's never because it's been like the best thing in the world. Sometimes it has been, but often it's because they're proud of themselves. They've gained more confidence. They're proud of what they've achieved. They're proud of the work they've put in. It's not about the actual grade. It's not about the actual like outcome. It's like, it's knowing, oh, you know, like so and so, he or she found that really, really hard, but they did the exam and they felt like they achieved it. And that's what's been happy.
Tell your soul.
Yeah. So we wish for all of you, when you do your exams and tests this exam season, that you go out feeling proud of yourself, and whatever the result is, it's a result of you doing the best you can, not because it's what other people think you should be achieving.
And without going insane.
Yeah, don't go insane. Please don't go insane. Having been around many friends that have gone insane, please don't go insane. It's not nice when you're experiencing it. It's not nice seeing your friends go insane. Please don't do it.
We're like a really good. This is amazing, actually, because you and I, Aimée, we are the perfect sort of balance, right? Between, you know, there's me that just took it very easy and just did. I just did what I could do, you know, without like going insane and revising. I just did what I like in my brain had, what I as a baseline could do. And then there's you that studied a lot. So I think we can both come together and, you know, we have some wisdom. Yeah. You know, we're two rather knowledged girls. And I think we are such a great pair to like give advice on the subject. So really do take it from us when both myself and Aimée are telling you to just do your best. That is without going crazy on like the no sleeping, on the cramming. Just be healthy.
And like we as humans, we're more resilient than you think. Like even if it's like, you know, obviously some jobs are like uber competitive and they want like perfect grades and all of that. And even if you don't have that, that doesn't mean that there isn't another path in life for you that could potentially make you even happier.
Yeah, man. Sometimes you just kind of fall into something, kind of like how I almost fell into concept photography, and it's become my favorite thing to do in the world. You might like become a jam donut baker, you know? Like very specifically. You might have a very specific thing, but it's so magical and works for you because you become Gregory, the beloved donut maker in a specific town, and you make people happy.
Yeah. And you're happy.
And you're living your purpose because you're making people happy. You're not like being a robot in someone else's machine. Wait, that doesn't make sense. You're not being a component in someone else's machine. You were just doing your purpose. So do that. Thank you.
If you are stressed about exams, whatever scale you're on, whether it's a little exam, whether it's a big exam, whether it's just, to be fair, if it's 11 plus, you probably shouldn't be listening to this show, or you should only be listening to it with your parents. But whatever it is that you're stressed about, like, do your best. If you have a culture of doing your best, that'll always take you a long way. Because I think people can tell if you do your best. People can tell if even if you've got like amazing grades, if you don't have it in you to put your best foot forward, people can tell. It doesn't matter what grades you have. People can tell at some point. But if you always do your best, people will tell. People will appreciate you for it at some point.
There's more to life than achievement.
Yeah, especially what other people think achievement is. You can't decide to achieve something because somebody else says that's what you achieve.
By the way, before Aimé's big speech, or was it like the previous one? I don't know.
Oh, I feel like I've made quite a few, oddly.
We've both like speeched each other's ears off today. But every time Aimée says the word nebulous in an episode of this podcast, I like just I get this kick, you know? Okay, I think it's her accent, or it's just the
Nebulous?
use of the word. Nebulous.
Nebulous? Really?
Yeah, can you just say it one more time?
Nebulous.
Amazing. I am going to ka-ching Nesquik milk powder. Have I done this one before?
No, but I'm having like genuine just childhood flash. It's been so long since I've had. Oh my gosh.
I have it like at least twice a day. You know this.
What flavor? What flavor? What flavor is your favorite?
Strawberry. Follow closely by banana.
Banana is so good, man.
Love banana flavored stuff.
Banana is so good.
Bananas are incredible.
Did you ever have those Nesquik like straws, or is it always the mix in powder for you?
What's a Nesquik straw?
They had those plastic straws where it's like, so you know, usually, obviously, oh, of course you do because you have it all the time, but like usually you take the powder and you mix it in the milk. But with the straws, I don't know if they make them anymore, to be fair. It's like you put the straw and you put the straw in the milk. Inside the straw are lots of little like sugar. It's like sugar with the powder coated around it. And when you drink it, it turns it into the milk into whatever flavor of straw you've put in.
That's amazing.
It was amazing.
And yourself, Aimée?
Would you hate it terribly if I shared a poem? And that can be my thing for the exchange.
Is it your poem?
No, but I wanted to leave people with a nice uplifting poem for their stressful exam test time. I would like to share the poem Invictus. It's by a poet called William Ernest Henley. He died in 1903, so this is a long time ago, but his amazing story is that he had one of his legs amputated when he was still a teenager, and he wrote this poem about not wanting to let that defeat him. So I would like to share that lovely poem.
Please do. Go ahead.
Out of the night that covers me, black as the pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. under the bludgeonings of chance. My head is bloody, but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade, and yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how straight the gate, how charged with punishments the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. So see, you can do anything. You can do anything.
I love that line. I knew that soul was coming, but it still hit. It still hit when it came.
Right, you can do anything.
Oh, that's lovely.
So don't worry, everyone. Whatever you're dealing with, you've got it. Yeah, you can do anything. What would you like your sign-off message then to be, Mads?
I want to be the captain of my soul.
Yay!
It's just an affirmation.
I feel like we've switched because my sign-off message was going to be, go and have a milkshake, get some Nesquik powder, make a lovely drink for yourself at home. I'm really hankering for a banana milkshake now. I'm not gonna lie.
Sorry.
Go have that. Thank you as always for listening to another episode of Falling Upwards. If you are dealing with exams and tests this exam period, good luck. If you're a marker, good luck as well. Keep that stamina up. You've all got this, and it will be summer very, very soon before you know it. Good luck to everybody. So thank you very much. Bye.